If you clicked on this video, you probably like music, yeah? Well, that's cool because I also happen to like music. Like a lot. So that's why I'm going to show you how I write my melodies, and how you can too. The footage you'll be seeing is me writing in Ableton Live 11, but the core concepts to music and melody writing that I'll be explaining can also apply if you just want to, pick up your instrument and jam out a little. Real quick, you should start with knowing what kind of vibe you want out of your epic creation. The mood can determine so many things like the key, the tempo, the style of chord progression, and the intervals of notes. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be writing a big and dramatic orchestral piece. I want it to sound cinematic and epic. For this one, I'll be writing in E minor, but I don't want to dwell too much on the textbooky stuff for too long, as I know we all just want to write some cool tunes, right? So first, I'll show you the chords I wrote, as this was how I started making the song. So I know it's just a piano for now, but it kinda has this big and grand sound to it, right? This is because I'm making use of the octaves and stable notes within the key of E minor, as well as moving up and down the scale. If all that sounds a little scary to you, just play whatever you think sounds good, and let's focus on the cool melody stuff. So how do I write my melodies? Well, the simple answer is I just hit record, close my eyes, and improvise. But everything I'm about to explain is like the clockwork going on subconsciously for those improvisations to happen. I'd say that melodies are like the main character of a song, and are made up of motifs, aka short musical ideas. Music has this kind of sway to it where certain notes want to resolve to other notes. Have you ever listened to something and been able to subconsciously predict where that phrase could end? You're probably not thinking about it while it's happening, but you can, even if you're not a musician. For example, this piece has a root note or home bass of E, because, E minor. That just means I use E everywhere. So in combination with notes building tension and resolving is this simple formula. And let me tell you, this concept that I use and love is used in just about every piece of music out there, regardless of the genre or media it's used for. And that concept being the idea of presentation, repetition, variation, and destruction. But before I continue, let me play you the main melody of the song I'm writing. Can you hear this idea in there? I start by playing the main motif, which is here. This is me introducing the main structure to you, the listener. Next, I further establish the idea by playing it again. This is how music gets stuck in your head. After that comes variation. This uses similar notes and vibes as the main phrase, but keeps things fresh and catchy, but also can be a transition into destruction. This is where you create something different and conclude the musical idea, as you can see here. You can also see that all these pieces are starting and ending on that E note. That's all part of that tonic home bass magic that further helps establish your melody. This concept for building a melody doesn't always have to be this set in stone. I know I personally love to further it and develop the musical phrase even more. See? Same thing here. Once you have that, your idea has some identity and you can start spicing things up. But wait, that was just the same thing but on strings, right? Yes, it was. But it doesn't have to be. By taking those same principles and those same types of notes and movements, you can create more ideas that are still based around your original motif. What if I took all those pieces and played the same thing, but just switched some stuff around in the cadence for a counter melody? I'll just play some notes differently and some longer. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. But what if I did it again? But this time with brass. Very cool, yeah, very epic. But what if I don't want so many long notes? Let's layer in something with more notes being played and more movement. Again, same foundation here. I'll take that original piano melody and I'll just play it again, but slightly more complex. And I'll add a bit of an echo effect. You know, to make it sound like it and my playing ability sound way more advanced than they are. Can you see and hear the parallels? It starts on E, goes down here to G and F sharp, uses D to E, and so on, dancing about the keys. I'm just playing with similar ideas in different ways, keeping everything connected, all according to the vibe in my head. If you're writing a grandioso orchestra like me, you can combine these ideas and these kinds of layers together to create real, full-sounding sections. And if you're just one player jamming out, you can improvise or write sections like this to play one after another. You don't have to be using a computer at all, actually. You can just play around and recycle your ideas. And obviously, if you're layering all these up, it helps to have some diversity in your instrumentation and note values to get the coolest results. And it's really fun too. So by changing small elements, instruments, cadence, and following this pattern, I can further write the piece. And don't forget, it's presentation, repetition, variation, and destruction. I just continue to improvise melodies over top of melodies, all based around the first melody I wrote. Take a shot every time I say melody. Does that make sense? It's all connected. This makes music more memorable and, in my opinion, more enjoyable. Whether you're meticulously planning every move or just winging it like me, this pattern makes its way into almost all music, and we don't even have to think about it. Yeah, pattern recognition. Isn't that so cool how it just kind of works out? I started writing my own music years before I formally went to school for it, and it wasn't until there where I learned of this structure. But despite that, you can see from my very first song posted years ago, I was writing this way. We just do it, and it's cool. And again, since all that formula stuff is kind of just like built into our brains, I just get to make the more emotional side of the music and just improvise my heart out to the vibes. And with practice and creativity, you can start adding all kinds of crazy parts. Once again, based around the same idea. Or you can just keep swapping things out and beefing it up. Pretty cool, right? No matter what key you're in or what mood you're going for, you can apply these concepts to it. Play around with it, have fun, and suddenly you have a 5-minute long song, which is like this huge collage of all your musical ideas and coolness. And then, once you're done that, there's only one thing left to do. And that's put it all together. And yeah, that's how I write my melodies, as well as a fun way for anyone else to give it a try. I think once you break it down, the whole thing can seem a little less daunting, and the fun part of music can shine through more. And of course, since I'm me, I have to suggest that you don't think about it too much, and just enjoy it, you know? This whole song was just me making stuff up on the fly like I always do. And I think that's about everything I wanted to cover in this video. Melody writing is my favorite part about music, easily, and I hope what I mentioned can be helpful whether you're already a producer or someone who just wants to give music a try and see what happens. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to comment them below. I really enjoyed putting this little video together, so thank you so much for watching. And just like that, that'll be good and chillin'. Cheers, guys!